Hi everyone, we're about halfway through our marathon preparation training now, so I thought I'd throw in a little bonus stretch sesh, because let's face it, runners are hopeless at stretching. So today will just be a quick little 5 to 10 minute session where we focus on mobility in all the places we need it. So around the hips, the calves, the backs of the legs, and the thoracic spine, getting a nice bit of rotation through there. So please try and do this, whether you do it every time you run or just after the longer ones, or even just throughout the week when you've got a bit of time. It will make such a difference to focus on that mobility and flexibility to partner up with all the load you're putting your body under. So we're going to start sitting right in the middle of your mat with your legs out nice and long. And I'll just get you to sit up really tall and feel that your weight is right on your sit bones. So if you're rolling back because the backs of your legs are a bit tight, just try and open the legs a little wider and then see if you can roll the pelvis forwards so that you're in a really neutral position there. And then take your legs as wide as they'll go, probably not too wide if you're anything like me. And then just sitting nice and tall, we're going to run the left hand down the inside of the left leg, reaching the right arm up and overhead into a side stretch. So in this position, you want to feel that length between your rib and your hip. Try and soften through the shoulders so that your shoulders are not coming up towards your ears, and keep the neck long. Pause there, come up through the middle, and let's go through the other side. So running the right hand down the inside to the right ankle and reaching the left arm up and overhead. Feel that nice stretch down your side. You might notice one side's tighter than the other. My right side is way tighter than my left. Let's go again, over to the side. Holding here, we're now going to tip forward, so bring your hand towards the other one and feel the stretch move a little bit further back and hold there. Again, check that you're not shrugging the ears up towards the shoulders, and then open back to your starting position and then turn towards the ceiling a little bit and feel that stretch change again. And then we'll sit up from there, reaching over again. Find that length first, then tip yourself forward. Feel the stretch move further back towards your spine. Drop the shoulders, open back forwards, and then turn up towards the ceiling and feel that opening. That should feel really nice. Let's sit up. We're going to combine those two sides now. So stay with me. We'll go over to the side, reaching that right arm overhead. Then we turn forwards, bring the right hand to the left, and then take your right hand all the way across, sweep it around towards your right ankle. Bring the left hand to join it. Come up through the center, look up towards the ceiling, and come over to the other side. Good, so it's like we're drawing a really big circle, and you can start to make it flow a little bit rather than pausing for too long at each point, but make sure you differentiate between side stretching, forward stretching, and backward stretching so that you really feeling all those different areas. And it's all right as well in this session, if you're feeling a particularly tight spot that you want to hold for a little bit longer, by all means do that. Hold here now, I'm going to go back the other way. So let's bring that left hand to the right hand, sweep it across to the ankle, open back to the ceiling, look up, and then draw another big circle, round we go. This should feel amazing. Not only do you have that stretch through your inner thighs, your adductors, but we're also getting into all those tight bits around our back, like our QL, our lats, all the areas that we don't even really think about when we're running that are working really hard. So let's finish off one more time. We'll look up to the ceiling, whatever side you're on right now, and then sit yourself all the way up. Roll your shoulders, bring your legs together. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. So once you're on all fours, just plant your palms firmly into the ground. And because we're just stretching here, we're not too worried about our form. I'll get you to slide your hand underneath, look through the gap, and get that twist through your upper back. If you can have a feel of the weight on your knees and try and even that weight up, that'll just make sure you're not twisting too much through your hips so that you're getting all the twist from your upper back. Let's go again, slide under, feel that shoulder come towards the ground. Even up your weight on your knees, and then slide back through. And we'll go one more time, sliding under, get that nice twist. And these aren't even just for running really, these are great stretches to be doing no matter what it is your sport of choice is. Step your left foot forwards, come up nice and tall. Tuck the pelvis under here, feel that stretch down the front of your right thigh. Opening up there, we're going to reach our hands forwards. I get you to draw a big circle around and over. And again, circle around and over. One more time, circle back and hold there. Reaching back with your right arm, bring your right hand down the back of your right thigh and reach your left arm up over your head. Feel that stretch increasing through the front of your right hip here, and just hold there for a moment. You can move in and out of this stretch, just make sure you've got your balance, or you can just hold it quite statically, whatever feels good to you. And then I'll get you to windmill your hands onto the ground, and then just tuck the right toes under, straighten into that right leg, and look forwards and feel a really good opening through the front of your right hip here. Hold for a moment, and then straighten through your front leg, and get a stretch down the back of that hamstring there. Hold it if you like, or let's move in and out of this stretch, sinking down and forwards, opening up the front of the right hip, and then pressing up through that left leg, and stretching down the back of the left. Sink forwards, and then lift up. And all of these stretches, try and keep it out of your shoulders. They always want to get involved, but they really don't need to. And let's sink down one last time. Drop that back knee, and now creep your left foot towards your right wrist, and then let your knee drop down towards the ground. We're in our pigeon stretch. Lift up tall through your chest. You can come right up on your fingertips. You can go down onto your palms. You can come forward onto your elbows, or you can rest your forehead to the ground. Hold whichever form of this stretch you feel comfortable in. I usually like to be on my elbows, but you can go all the way to the ground if you like. Try and drop your right hip forward. So if you feel like you're sort of rolling back and you're not really feeling this in your left hip, drop the right hip to the floor, and you might even need to come up a little higher in order to get your hips in the right position, and that's okay. The other thing I try and feel is that my back kneecap, so in this case my right kneecap, is face down on the ground, because you'll notice if your knees like rolling in or out, that's probably a sign that your hips are rolling in and out, and we really want to be square to get the most out of this stretch. We're going to curl those right toes under, press up to the palms if you're not already there, and then lift your hips up, step your left foot back to join your right, and here we go for our downward dog. Bend your knees, press your hips up towards the ceiling, and then one at a time, let's pedal into our legs, pushing your heels to the ground. How good is this stretch? Really press your chest back towards your thighs, open up through your shoulders, and then press one heel at a time to the ground. This can be pretty tight the first time round, so just go gently. You'll have another chance to go a little bit deeper into this one. And again, if you want to stay here for a little longer, you can. If you want to push both legs down together, you can. I always like to do the pedal, but whatever feels good to you is good. And then once you've had enough of that, we're going to come forwards into our plank again. And then nice and slowly drop the knees to the ground and come down lying on your left side. Tuck your knees right up in front of you and reach your hands straight out in front of you. We're going to reach the right hand to the ceiling, turning the chest towards the ceiling, and find the floor with your right hand behind you. Try and push that right knee forward so it stays directly on top of the left, and then you know your hips aren't doing the twist here, it's all in your upper back. And then I'll just show you with my left hand what my right hand's about to do. I'm going to draw up and down on the ground like a clock hand, but with my back arm, and I'm going to feel a really good stretch across my chest here, the front of my shoulder. So just opening up through the pecs. You can start to bend and straighten your elbow. Again, I'll show you with this arm like that if you like, or you can keep the elbows straight. Really go with what feels good to you in this stretching sequence, because you only know what your body feels like, and sometimes a little bit of a tweak can make a really big difference. Good, and then reach that arm all the way over your head and bring it back to join the other one. We're going to roll onto our backs and bring the right ankle onto the left thigh. Hug that left leg in towards you, Get it in nice and tight, and then open your elbows out wide. We're gonna rock our legs side to side here, and you'll get that right hip stretching this time. So we open across and across, and I find when I bring my right foot to the floor, left knee to the floor, that's when I get a really good glute stretch. Might be different for you. I'm gonna hold it here, and then you can even push that knee away from you a little and just deepen that stretch even further. And just hold it and breathe. And then we'll come back through the center. Let that left leg go long onto the ground. Grab the back of your right thigh. Straighten your right knee as best you can. Try and push your heel to the ceiling and pull your toes down towards you. And really stretch this leg flat so that you're getting a good hip flexor stretch here as well. Let's draw some circles with that right ankle, round and round. You can choose, you can point your toes up and down if you like. You can bend your knee in and out, whatever you like. Around we go. And then when you've had enough of that, I'll get you to pull both knees towards your chest. We're going to roll up to sitting, and then we're going to go onto our hands and knees facing the other way. So you can roll forwards over your legs and then come onto your hands and knees. And let's do it all again. So this time we're reaching right arm under left, get that twist through the spine, and then come out of that stretch. Try and look for little differences side to side. You might notice you are really flexible on one side, really stiff on one side. One side might even be a little sore, whereas the other side didn't feel sore. So just notice these things. They're not necessarily an issue or a cause for concern, but it might be that you want to give one side a little bit more love than the other if you're noticing a difference. Bring your hands to the ground, stepping the right foot forward this time. Coming up tall, tucking the pelvis under. Let's reach those arms straight out in front. We're going to go open it out to the left. Reach that arm over, draw a big circle. Bending the elbow, opening across, so you get a little stretch through your chest, and then overhead. One more time, open to the left, and then bring that left hand to the back of the left thigh, reach your right arm over your head. Find that stretch through the front of the left hip there. Think of squeezing your left buttock, grounding yourself through your right heel, and just opening right out through that front side of your body. And then we'll windmill our hands to the ground. We're going to straighten that left leg, lift the knee off the ground, feel that stretch deepen through the front of your hip, look forwards, hold it for a moment, and then press up through the right leg and find the stretch down the back of the right. Like last time, if you want to hold it, you can. Otherwise, I'm going to move in and out, sinking down, find that stretch, and then press back and stretch the right leg, sink down and forwards, and then press up. Let's sink down one more time before we go into our pigeon. Drop the left knee to the ground, and then creep your right foot across towards your left hand, lower your right knee down, and then find the level that you feel the most comfortable at. Why don't we start by checking, is your kneecap flat on the ground? Yes. Is your left hip pointing forward? Yes. In that case, maybe you want to come a little bit lower. And just hold. So at the moment we're stretching the side of the right hip. This one can be a little bit uncomfortable on the knee if your knee is feeling sore, in which case I would switch it up. You can sit on your bottom and bring your leg across like that. That's a good option. You can lie on your back and do it, kind of like what we did before, and pull it in, or you can even just have your foot on the ground. And that may be enough to get that stretch. For everyone else that is in their pigeon, let's just hold that for a little bit longer. And then when you're ready, come up onto your palms, curl your toes under, lift your left knee off the ground, bring your right leg back to join your left, and let's go back to our downward dog. Pressing your heels towards the ground, pushing your chest towards your thighs, that's the most important part, and just alternating there. Or holding both down. Again, up to you. Some people like a really deep bend in their knees and getting their chest further back. You might like to preference your legs. Honestly, whatever feels good. And just pressing heel after heel into the ground. Good, come over into your plank. Slowly lower your knees to the ground and then come down onto your right side. So we're going to tuck the knees up in front, reach both hands out in front of us, and then keep that left knee nice and level with the right. Reach your left arm over your head. Find the floor behind you if you can. You might be hovering off the ground, that's okay. And then again, I'll just demonstrate with my right arm. We're drawing those clocks up and down. So sweeping your left hand overhead and then back down by your side. And just look for tight spots. Move really slowly so that you can feel where it might sort of stick a bit or pull a bit more tightly. And if you're finding those spots, you can kind of work sort of like that, like in that spot, in a smaller amount of range. Or if it feels pretty smooth throughout, you can just keep working in your big arcs. Other option is to bend and straighten the arm. You can sort of go exploring to see what feels like it gets the best stretch for you. And then we'll draw a big circle overhead, coming all the way over to that starting position again, rolling onto your back. This time left ankle into right thigh. Bring those legs towards you for a moment, and then we'll go arms wide and rock side to side. See where you feel that pulling around the left hip deepens the most. For me, it's definitely over here. This has got to be one of my favorite stretches, and then you can press that knee away from you to deepen it even further and hold. A couple of breaths here, and then we're going to finish by standing up with my second favorite stretch of all. So come back to the middle, grab the legs, ankles are crossed, we roll all the way up and we'll stand up. So from here, can you roll forwards, bring your fingertips to the floor. If you want, you can actually put your hands underneath your toes. That can feel quite nice to just secure everything in spot. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. We're looking for this fold to come through the spine and the backs of the legs, not your shoulders shrugging up. And then I'll get you to just bend one leg at a time. And just feel the straight leg gets quite a deep stretch and the bent leg slackens off. Release your fingertips to the ground. Let's have the knees, both knees a little bit bent. We're going to straighten the right leg and reach the right arm to the ceiling, keeping the left fingertips on the ground. Get that twist through your chest, open it forwards, try and press your right hand back behind you. Bring your hand to the ground, straighten into the left leg, reach the left hand to the ceiling, again reach that hand back behind you. Come down to the middle. Let's go one more time to each side. So this should be a really good stretch. All the way down your leg and even up into your lower back, maybe through your upper back as well where you're opening out there. One more time to the left. Stretch to the ceiling, twist the spine. Come back down through the middle. We're going to soften into both knees. I want you to press through your heels, use your legs, feel your thighs, feel your glutes, feel your stomach muscles. Roll the spine up one bone at a time, coming nice and slowly. Imagine that you're just realigning the building blocks of your spine, one bone at a time. Roll your shoulders when you get to the top. And we're all done. So that felt good. It always feels good after we've done it, doesn't it? But we're so hopeless at stretching. So try and incorporate that into your week, as I said, particularly now your runs will be getting quite long and you really need to prioritize some mobility so that you reduce your risk of injury. And a little bit of variety throughout the week really helps. So if you're doing lots of strength work and lots of running, lots of interval work, it might be nice to just take a day or two in the week to focus on your flexibility and a little bit of a calmer workout. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you for week 5 shortly.